welcome.
Sliding across the floor here.
I wasn't prepared for that. I was like, hi, and welcome to a brand new episode of the 5 Heart Podcast, live for you on YouTube, Facebook, and X. And I was going to say, I'm Greg Mahachko, and I don't know where the other half of the show is unless she slides in a la a Risky Business style.
Yes. Tom
Minnie,
Cruise.
how are you doing, Minnie?
I'm good. I don't have white socks on, so that's why you didn't see me actually sliding, but running, yes.
I do have white socks on, so we're okay.
I am not surprised.
Yeah. Vanilla. I'm pretty vanilla in my sock selection.
Yeah, but you have a red shirt on, so that's all that matters, Greg. You're here in Husker Nation wearing red. You got your end lit up. It's a party.
Fresh batteries. Justin Raji's. We're not the only one here. Of course, we have the. I gotta do this because we didn't do it at all last week, and I felt bad. I felt like something was missing. But joining us each and every week live right here on YouTube, Facebook, and X, it's the Holger Maniacs, brother. And Justin Raji in the house. Pitt is here tonight. Ken E. Those are some of the names that we've seen. Fred Sacco says maybe intermittent tonight. Went from owning 0 dogs to 2 dogs. That's a big change.
What? Dude,
adopted
what?
2 mini poodle mixes today.
He does not seem like a mini poodle owner, does he?
That's a big change.
Fred, what is going on? Is this your midlife crisis?
I will never forget the night/morning. Pitt says, are those my dogs? I don't know if I'm supposed to laugh or cry at that. I don't know what the situation on the dogs.
We don't want to know. I don't think they ever came home.
Oh.
No.
So the first dog I ever owned, Lucky, and adopted, rescued.
So you didn't have any dogs when you were a kid?
No. Fun story.
This is funny. When you say fun story, Greg, just so you know.
It's not a fun story. Just like when I say fun fact.
Yeah, it's more like a depressing fact.
So I don't know. I'm not a woman and I never claimed to be. But apparently pregnancy can alter your physiological state as a woman. After I was born, my mom became allergic to cats.
Oh, that's right. I know. You told me this. You told us
alcohol.
Alcohol? Yeah, right. How do you be? Okay, never mind.
So I never had a dog growing up. So when I got out, got a house, we got a dog. And little Lucky, little itty bitty Lucky, howled and barked and cried and whined all night that first night. And so none of us got sleep. And then the next morning, little Lucky tried to take her outside. She didn't want to do anything outside, brought her inside. She goes behind the couch. And she did what little doggies do that don't know better.
Yeah, they do.
No, she had just had her last shots. This poor dog pooped out so many worms.
That's disgusting. Okay.
It was
TMI. We don't want to know. This is actually not a fun story at all. Greg, way to start. Yay.
Hey, it's the NFL draft. And no news is good news, I suppose. No Huskers have been drafted yet.
Okay. First of all,
monitoring that.
One thing I wanted to talk about is, did you see those outfits?
No, I haven't watched any of the draft. I don't have cable anymore.
Gosh, Greg. Okay, but I know you like to wear suits, right?
I do.
And you get yours custom made. Believe it or not, he actually does care about his appearance, even though it just doesn't seem like it here.
Thanks.
From my understanding, you have custom-made suits, right?
I do.
For your job. Okay.
Spent way too much on
these suits for these kids, guys, men, they're men now, right? They're obviously not bought off the rack. They are so flashy, I guess is the word I want to use. They have jacquard gold thread woven through them, like jacquard print, like a fleur-de-lis, like a damask.
Okay.
Yeah, pimp suits. And bright colors. James Boardman says pimp suits. That's it. And the thick gold necklace, diamonds encrusted in it.
Something else I couldn't pull off.
Yeah.
I found a suit, not found. I saw a suit over the weekend that I was like, you know what? If I could pull off that suit, I would love to wear this suit. I grabbed a picture of it just now. If you'll allow me, I'm going to try to share the image.
Okay, but Pit Snipe Husker does a movie reference for you. And for anyone who's watching and listening, he says goldfish bowl platform shoes. Do you know what movie that's from?
I believe Pitt, the 40-year-old version.
No.
I believe the buy it on eBay store. Jonah Hill's character he's like, I'll just buy these right now. And the owner store's like, no, actually I sell it on eBay. You got to go on eBay. He's like, I'm here with money.
He says, I got it. Blazing Saddles. That's the funniest part of the movie. Yes.
The fishbowl shoes?
Platform shoes. Yeah.
I don't remember that part of the movie.
It's so good.
There are a lot of parts of that movie that I remember. I don't remember those shoes.
That's probably one of the funniest movies of all time.
Of course. You can't make it anymore. So this, Minnie, I got to know, would I look good in this suit here? By the way, it is specifically the gentleman in the middle of the photo, not the gentleman holding the microphone, but the gentleman in the middle of the photo. I got to know if I would look good in this suit.
In the plaid? In the gold plaid?
Yes.
Since gold is not our color, no, that's disgusting.
But he's got a reddish top.
Red? No, it's orange. So if it were red, you could pull it off, Greg.
Okay. I will definitely try to find a red plaid suit. Yeah. Okay. Where are we starting tonight?
Well,
make it red flannel. See, you and Highlander are of one mind.
Ooh, he wants flannel. So you stay nice and cozy. Little softness to your suit.
I don't know if he meant flannel or red plaid. I don't know. Well, help me out with that, Highlander. Do you want me to look like a full body lumberjack? And Nebraska Rascal knows who that is.
Oh, sorry.
It says L.A. Knight. Yeah.
Nice. Is that from the WWE?
That is
weekend?
from the WWE.
Okay. I watched a little bit of it. It got a little out of hand, it looked like.
At which point?
Wasn't it? There was some guy who was like definitely calling Pat McAfee out a lot, saying that he's like doing drugs behind the scenes in the green room and stuff. Heyman. Okay, that guy. Okay. He got out of hand.
He's just I thought that it's all for entertainment. It was a work, as they say in the industry.
I believed it. I'm like, Okay. Nebraska Strong says, go Big Red. I wonder what Minnie will do if Rhule gets drafted out of nowhere.
Wait. I know the answer to this.
No, that can't
I know the
happen.
answer to this.
What?
You would cheer and celebrate wildly for the success of that young man. You would not be jealous or selfish and say, I can't believe he's leaving us. Because you've always always been about his best interest and wanting him to succeed. So I know in my 5 heart of 5 hearts, he'd be like, I knew it. That Greg who said it should have been Heinrich Harburg all last year, he's wrong and I was right. Dylan, you didn't take us to the promised land, but I'm so proud of you, young man. And what city are you going to be playing in? Because I'm going to try to get on the chain gang.
I think that you should hush it, because this is not going to happen. We get at least another year of Dylan, probably, hopefully 2. He's such a good, I don't want to call him a kid because he's going to be 20. I know he's such a good guy. When he talks, he's always so humble. Like, these guys in the press set him up and they're asking him questions like, what have you learned and how have you become the leader that this team needs and things like that. And he's like, I don't want to talk about myself. I'd rather talk about the team.
And oddly enough, then the team has no problem talking about him. And I know, later on in the show, we're going to get into some of the press conference moments, but this, at least the clip that I saw, and I'll give credit where it's due, it was from Hail Varsity on their social media. This did not appear to be from the podium. So I hope I'm not going too far off format for this. When Ja'Cory Barney was asked about Dylan Raiola, he's like, just watch. This is a trophy year for him, a Heisman Trophy year for Dylan Raiola. So
I love
interesting,
that.
Big talk. Interesting words.
I love it. I'm right there with them. Okay, so let's talk about the NFL draft besides the outfits, which I don't get. Do you?
Get the outfits?
Yeah. They're definitely like gold lame.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen them, but I just know that it's been tradition. If you're going to be there at, whether it used to be at Radio City Music Hall for the longest time. I think it's been in Nashville, or Las Vegas. Now it's in Green Bay for reasons. It just always, dressed to the nines. It's like, let's see if I can put this in circumstance or words. It's the Met Gala for the NFL.
Yeah. I like the gray suits the best. That's all I'm going to say. Subdued. Or if you were to do tone on tone on tone. There was one guy who did that, and it was just different textures like satin, some shiny fabrics with some matte fabrics. I like that too.
You lost me when you said tone on tone. I hear tone and I think of Top Gun. We've got tone.
Okay. Well, I wanted to also say I was completely in shock that Shedeur was not there. Did you hear about this?
I didn't know that. Maybe he found out he's not going to be drafted in the first day.
There was an article, because I looked it up. Why isn't he there? He isn't there because he didn't do so well interviewing with some NFL teams. Some people came away and called him basically like a spoiled brat is what he acted like.
If I'm thinking of the same quotes, didn't they say that he didn't seem to have much passion for the game?
Oh, I didn't read that.
Maybe I'm conflating.
Yeah. There were some things that were not nice. I mean, definitely things that we all thought them. We thought them because we're the enemy.
Right.
But you are looking at potentially like going and being part of these teams, and that's what they think of you. That's really bad. So he was not the first quarterback chosen in the draft. He may not go until the second day. Who knows?
That would be a shame.
The thing is he's a great quarterback. It's just apparently the person that they need to work on.
It's one of the things one of the critiques I saw was that he took too many sacks, and look, a lot of that can be attributed to Ty Robinson and Nash Hutmacher. And but I don't think.
I think that's funny.
Do we want to go ahead and talk about? I know we said if there's time. I don't want to be accused of having Colorado live rent free in my head, brother. But we did stick something down at the very end of the format. But since we're talking about it now,
well, I think we should leave it for the end of the format.
Okay. All right. Never mind.
Just in case other people bring it up. Okay. But yeah, no, we actually need to be talking about who we have representing Nebraska. And this could be a huge year for us. We have Nash and we have Ty Robinson, who is definitely going to go. I hope he goes tomorrow. And we have Thomas Fidone. And Rhule said this week that he's gotten a ton of calls on Thomas and that there is nobody more committed to Nebraska.
Interesting.
Well, you kind of knew that. Didn't we know that already?
About Fidone?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we knew that. I mean, I can see. I feel like at some point, and maybe it was when his grandmother jumped on social media or something, like Nebraska fans started to like turn on him. I'm glad to see that he didn't turn on us.
So. Yeah, me too. I think that if you are loyal to Nebraska, we will be loyal to you. And everybody else needs to zip it.
Our great personal friend, Brian Johans over at draft_Brian or Draft Brian at on YouTube, his own channel here on YouTube, laid down some of his predictions in our Coronation Slack. Yeah. He says, worst case scenario for Nebraska is that the only one drafted is Ty Robinson. He says the best case scenario is that there are 5 Huskers drafted, and those would be Ty, Thomas, Tommy Hill, Isaiah Nayor, and Nash. He says the likely scenario is that there's 2 or 3 Huskers drafted, which he described as a combination of Ty, Thomas, Tommy, and Isaiah Nayor, which I think is interesting. He says that Robinson's the only lock in his opinion. Probably going to be a day 2 pick, maybe late second or early third round. Seattle be looking maybe for Ty to be putting on a Seahawks jersey. He says they've shown a bunch of interest, and Brian believes that Ty fits Mike McDonald's defense very well. He says the Fidone, Nayor, and Tommy Hill all have a shot on day 3. He says about Thomas Fidone, probably the best chance. Had a very good pre-draft process. Not only did he get a Senior Bowl and Combine invite, but he performed well. What could hurt, pun intended, he says, his chance of getting drafted are the 2 knee injuries and a pretty deep tight end class. We have already seen, let me see here, just in the first round. 1, 2.
We were already at 13 when I turned it off.
We already had 2 tight ends picked in the first round, both Big Ten tight ends, okay. Michigan and Penn State. So I mean, yeah, it could be a bit of a slog for Fidone just on the amount of tight ends up in the draft this year, but we'll see. I mean, this is the fun part. I mean, I always like the draft. There are times that I've sat and watched the entire draft, long before 5 Heart time when I followed the NFL more closely than I do college football. I'd sit there and watch the whole draft start to finish, or the whole first night of the draft start to finish. So
there's a lot of college football fans that do not care about the draft.
I know.
The only thing I cared about was really, our guys, and also kind of the drama with Colorado. I can't help it. I eat that stuff up. You guys know. That's what I love about college football. It's better than any daytime soap opera. Uh-oh.
You know what time it is, Minnie?
Yeah, is it?
Always.
Greg, why don't you do this? Why don't you do this? Why don't you sing it and act like that guy that's on the thing?
Because I don't have my big beer steins with. All right, I'll sing it.
Oh, here we go.
Well, hold on, let me get at least a couple of the non-current beers. We'll do this upright. A couple of the options that are for later in the show. What's Greg drinking today? What's Greg drinking today? Whoa. These are later. Asking you shall receive, even if you don't really want it. The beer that I cracked is this Destil Brewing Hawaii 5 Ale.
Oh, the Hawaii 5 Ale one.
The 6.4% ABV from Normal, Illinois. So,
yep. Well, Rhule did mention that, just so you guys know, and I think it's worth mentioning here on 5 Heart, the guys like the Ty Robinsons and the Thomas Fedonis were brought here by and Nash Scott Frost.
He was very complimentary, you know, and he credited
the
players.
And it's true.
Right.
He's really good at, I mean, he even wanted, he tried to get the first round or the first pick of the draft tonight. Cam Ward, remember, he went after him.
Yeah. I think Matt Rhule, and I don't mean this to say like as a negative, but I think Matt Rhule does a really good job of saying all the right things. Very diplomatic. There's a chance that like 100% of his life is all like that, but I just have a feeling like when he gets in his vehicle and he's by himself, I bet he just, you know, lets go a string of obscenities that, you know, would never make the. I just feel like there's got to be a switch with that guy that he can't be that nice and that. I mean, he's gonna.
Who? Matt Rhule?
Matt Rhule. When he retires, as after Nebraska's won its 5th national title under his leadership, he's going to run for office in the state of Nebraska, and much like Tom Osborne, he will win.
Greg, let me tell you something.
Okay.
This is what personal growth looks like, okay? You look at what other people do, and you try, because everybody is going to say negative things about the previous coach that got fired. You look at what they did, and you try and look at the positives instead of harping on the negatives. And I think that is what he's trying to do. He is just rising above all of that and just pointing out, hey guys, this is somebody who loved, he was a national championship quarterback. I mean, we owe him a little more respect. That's what I think.
Nah.
Greg.
We live in a society of what have you done for me lately?
Obviously.
And Scott Frost didn't do anything for us lately. Set us back. I don't know how many years.
He has. That's what Matt Rhule was pointing out.
I think it was, as you could say, Scott Frost got him here. Matt Rhule kept him here and developed them to play to the point where they could actually, you know, maybe hear their name called from the draft podium. Let's think about this. Let's think about Bryce Benhart, who, by the way, we haven't even mentioned, you know, started more games for Nebraska than anybody else. Bryce Benhart. And we shit all over that guy for 3 years. And then we as a fan base, I'm talking.
You.
Okay.
Greg.
The majority of the fan base shit all over Bryce Benhart for years. And it wasn't until Matt Rhule's first year and Donovan Raiola's I say tutelage under that system that we actually like, hey, look at that. Bryce Benhart can block occasionally, whether or not he plateaued or took a step back in 2024. That's not for me to decide. But again, Scott Frost got the guys to Lincoln, but Matt Rhule had to keep the guys in Lincoln. He had to keep the team that he wanted in Lincoln, because there's always going to be attrition when a head coach departs. Matt Rhule kept the guys in place that he wanted and improved on what Scott Frost had left him.
Can you read Ken E's last comment, please? Greg.
926.
Oh, yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Oh, wait, that was a response to Kenny. I apologize. That one moved up too quickly. In response to Pitt Snipe Husker, when his teammate cheated at cards in the middle and took 400, Frost and Adam, probably mispronounced this wrong, Toucher gave my friend his money. Frost apologized for his teammate's behavior. That's my experience.
Wow.
And that's great. I'm sure that there are more stories like that. I'm sure that there are more stories than that. But those individual anecdotes do not excuse what fell apart in the locker room in the football program under his leadership.
I agree. Okay. All right. It's kind of like this. What do you think Kalen DeBoer is how do you think he's going to be received after this season?
If Alabama's not in the playoff, they will want to ride him out of Tuscaloosa so fast. Like, here's your hat, what's your hurry, as my mom would say.
And he's a great coach. He's just not Nick Saban. So I'm just wondering, maybe we have such high expectations that we just set him up for failure to begin with. I don't know.
Kalen DeBoer following Nick Saban is different than Scott Frost following Mike Riley. Those situations are not equal.
But there was a huge expectation. Is that fair?
Sure, because he went undefeated 13-0 at UCF, flipped that program, but had, I guess, lower expectations, there. Like, again, we all wanted Scott Frost to succeed. Nobody at any point wants the Nebraska. No, I shouldn't say nobody. No Nebraska fan wants the program to fail. They may not like Scott Frost. They might not like Matt Rhule or Marcus Satterfield, but nobody wants the program to fail to spite the individual that they dislike.
That's true.
So I don't know. It was I'm not saying it was an easy situation for Scott Frost to walk into. The moment may have been too big for him. I hope he's happy down at UCF.
Oh, I think he is. I think he's learned a lot. And I'm rooting for his happiness and success down there. Just not against us ever.
I'm just happy that the Steelers didn't pick Shedeur Sanders.
Who has?
Nobody yet.
We are, and the Steelers already picked their.
They just picked they picked a defensive tackle from Oregon. So now they're on to the Chargers with the 22nd pick. They're on the clock. It's so much fun to watch. I'm not watching on the TV. I just have the tracker and just watching how long some of these teams are taking on the clock before they put their pick in. So I don't know. It's fun. Sometimes it happens like that, and sometimes it's really drawn out. So,
okay. So, should we talk about what just happened last night?
Yes.
The NCAA, how the judge, Claudia Wilkins, said she won't sign any agreement that doesn't have room for the current players on rosters to be grandfathered in. In other words, the 105 that we thought was going to happen June 1, nope. Should we be happy about that? I mean, normally we'd be like, yay, more Huskers. But we know we've been working towards 105 this entire time.
I say it's been some awkward conversations between coaches and players to get them get that number down. So
it's not fair to the teams that actually have been honest. I've been saying this from day one, that we're being honest with players. We're telling them the hard truths, and I guarantee other teams aren't doing that.
Yeah, I mean, you're always going to have programs that are embellishing, So we were operating under the assumption that we had to. I don't dislike our approach. I think our approach is definitely more merciful than assuming that we're going to get this extension or this grandfather clause, and then you don't, and then was it June 1st, June 5th, whatever that date is, then you'd be like, all right, we got 30 guys we got to cut. All right, let's get them in here in like an assembly line, get them in, sorry about that, and give them their papers and let them go. I like our approach. Again, I think we're doing it the right. And I don't think there's a bad, I don't think it's going to hurt us long run, because we'll have started the process. If we get this extension or this grandfather clause, okay, that probably makes it easier because we can, go out and meet some needs, but we already know how to start making these roster adjustments to get the number down. So, and again, I think it's been handled the right way.
Side note, sorry, Justin Raji just got here. He says Sanders is at the draft. He's not at the draft. He's actually in Texas with his family celebrating and having a draft party there.
Yeah, Justin.
Well,
are you really going to challenge Minnie?
No, Justin. I always trust what Justin says. He probably saw him like partying it up, and that's what's going on. So that was shocking for me, because all season long, all we heard is how Shedeur Sanders is going to be the top quarterback chosen in the draft. That's all I heard before the season even started, back in last summer.
Justin says he was just on TV.
Yeah. Because they actually showed him in Texas with his family having a draft party.
And Beetle B is here.
Hello.
Damn hello to you too, Beetle B. I'm going to star that one for later. Nebraska strong. Don't you worry. We'll get there. And Pitt says, Minnie's scooping me lately. I think the artificial intelligence is hiding articles from me. I think what Pitt is saying is that you're more read up on things than he is.
I don't know. I don't think that's possible.
I don't know.
And especially not more than Justin. That is for sure. And look who else is here. Ooh, David Matney. Now, I haven't read up on what David Matney's been up to lately. Guess what? On his channel, Living in Omaha, David Matney, the official realtor of the Five Heart podcast, he put together an amazing video on why Nebraskans want to move to Arizona.
And why? Why is that?
Well, because it's a party down here.
Oh.
24/7, 365 days a year. That's basically the gist of it.
I mean, I don't know. It seems like it's a little roasty toasty.
Well, then you go inside or you go swimming, pool parties.
You know what I'd really like to see?
What?
Living in Omaha, David Matney, the official realtor of the Five Heart Podcast. I would love for him to put that tag on his YouTube channel. I drive in my area all over the place. We have corporate partners of the St. Louis Blues and St. Louis Cardinals. And I just, and they have billboards up there, whether Window World or, a law firm or whatever it is. And I just think living in Omaha, David Matney should put the official realtor of the Five Heart Podcast.
And he has a 5-year anniversary for this channel.
No, there's no better time than anniversaries to make changes, Mr. Matney.
Obviously, you're loved very much here. Congratulations on
When I do it, it doesn't do any fun animations, but Mr. Matney.
Okay, I'll do it for you.
Thanks.
Right.
I don't think you will. There it is. Let's see. Fred will stick with Nebraska. Arizona wasn't for him. And James
he said it was way too dry.
James Boardman says Arizona has a big washed out ditch on the north side. We have sandhills. Let's talk about the Grand Canyon.
Oh, okay.
I've never even been there, and I know what he was talking about.
If you ever get a chance to come to Arizona, Fred, this goes for you too. Don't just go to downtown Phoenix, okay? Here are some recommendations. And David Matney, I'm kind of upset that you didn't ask me any questions about this prior to you releasing that one video, because I could give you a ton of information about Arizona, but Tombstone is number 1 on the list. What better thing to go look at than somebody reenacting the gunfight at the OK Corral?
That's right. After we lost Val Kilmer a couple weeks back, I did watch Tombstone again. I watched it actually on one. It was on the flight back from my trip. So, yeah, I have not yet begun to defile myself.
I'll be your huckleberry.
James Boardman gets it. Winslow, Arizona, standing on a corner.
Yeah.
To girl, my lord, in a bright red Ford. Drive around to take a look at me. I love the Eagles. So
they're great. They are great.
James, I hope you were making an Eagles reference and not that you just really like Winslow, Arizona. So,
well, some of us have been to Winslow, and the only thing to do there is stand on the corner.
Fine. Do it with the pictures.
They have a statue there, actually.
Correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't know the ins and outs. Is it and look, there's more Husker sports to talk. We'll get there. But is it the statue, the whole band, like are all the Eagles there, or is it just as they kind of pass away that they're?
No, it's the main singer. What's his name?
Is it Henley?
Yeah. Is that it? Yes. Yeah, it's Don Henley standing there, and it says standing on the corner of Winslow, Arizona. It's a bronze statue.
Blaine gets it.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? It's a Thursday night.
Glenn Fry. Thank you, James Boardman. See, look.
Oop, sorry.
We got it wrong.
And Glenn Fry. That's what I thought.
Okay.
I think it's important. Look, it's still technically the off season, despite the description that I wrote for the.
Not yet.
Okay,
After Saturday, it will be.
Okay, sorry. I just thought maybe we go around the room and everybody share their favorite Eagles song. But it doesn't sound like you want to play that game.
Okay, go ahead. We can play really quick, as long as it's fast, because we have stuff to talk about.
That's true. We haven't really talked about much, and it's 40 minutes into the show. I like Desperado, but give me some seven God darn it! Seven Bridges Road. I love me some Seven Bridges Road.
Sing it.
I can't because I can't harmonize it properly.
Oh,
but it's like the only version of it that I've ever heard is like a live performance of it because you can hear like the crowd in the background. So, I don't want to sing it. Our stars in the southern sky. That's all.
I mean, the Eagles have great songs, but my favorite all-time song is Hotel California.
Well, you
so good.
And Mr. Matt
can never leave. You can never leave.
Ken E says Desperado. Aaron Keene says Witchy Woman. And Aaron Keene also says Randy Meisner from where? That's right, Scottsbluff, Nebraska.
Oh.
I did know that actually, Aaron. Take It to the Limit's a good one.
It's a great one.
And Ken E says, my coworker at the public defender's office hated the Eagles. I understood. I hate Bachman-Turner Overdrive the same way. Yeah, Bachman-Turner Overdrive's Canadian, so that's why.
That's like an American to hate the Eagles, so how could they work in a public office?
Thank you, Nebraska T-Bones. Seven Bridges Road is fantastic.
Okay, well, can we get on with the Husker talk?
They also have that really good Christmas ballad, Please Come Home for Christmas, the Eagles.
Do they sing about Nebraska by chance?
No, you're thinking of Sawyer Brown.
Sawyer Brown does?
Sawyer Brown has a song. It's all about Brooke Behringer. It's called
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
The only Nebraska songs I know about are the ones from Poly Jam 24. They're really good.
No.
I think it's all AI, but it's really good. Okay. Back to the format.
Yeah. Sawyer Brown, the Nebraska. I came
I'll look it up.
from
I
Goodland, Kansas. Turned 18 today. College bound for Lincoln. Nebraska's where I'll stay.
Writing it down. So you don't have to sing it. Thank you. And I said, if we did it fast.
All my life to play football on this field.
So this weekend, you know what's going on?
If I ever get the chance, I'll make you.
You can answer me?
I do. It's the Nebraska games.
The Husker Games.
Husker Games, including the Scrubs scrimmage.
Okay, first of all, why is it called the Husker Games?
Because,
why not the Cornhusker Games? Why did we change our name?
Because we already have the Cornhusker Games.
We do?
The Cornhusker, correct me if I'm wrong, Nebraska natives, but it's Cornhusker Games are for amateur athletes all across the state. They all kind of converge on Lincoln, and they have track and field and other activities, events, games. I'm almost certain.
If they do,
boom! Look at me.
Then okay.
Boom! 2 for 2.
I would just pay them for the rights for that.
Oh, why? Why not you just call it the Husker Games?
Well, we've gone over this, remember?
Oh, because we're
like starting the movement to change all Husker stuff to Cornhusker stuff.
I don't know who your shirt only says Nebraska Huskers.
I know. I'm gonna write in corn here.
Pitt says we should call it the spring thing. And Fred says the Cornhusker State Games. All right. I think I missed the word. Cornhusker State Games are a thing. I wrestled in them in the 90s, says Fred.
Oh, fun.
And BFOTS, Josh Hansen is here. He says he prefers the name Spring Shenanigans.
I do too. I think that's a good Husker Shenanigans. Husker Spring Shenanigans. Yes?
No. Gotta Keep it concise. Honestly, they should just call it the spring games.
Yeah, Husker Games, not a good name. We got that out of the way. Okay, we all agree. Husker Games, they could have done better. They're starting off with the Tom Osborne Tour. They have the food trucks. They have a women's football game.
Like flag football?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then they have the Husker Games, where we're coming on. And Matt Rhule said they're going to try and get like 60 plays.
Fred says it should be called the Dylan Derby. It's just Dylan running from Minnie till he gets winded. The problem is what's going to happen. He's going to get winded, and then he's going to slide 2 yards short.
Remember, we decided we're not going to ever talk about that ever again.
I felt like you decided that.
Yeah.
Minnie, it's time for this English Pale Ale.
Okay, enjoy.
Unless you want to see the other options.
Well, you go from Hawaii 5-0 to an English Pale Ale.
It's the Hawaii 5 Ale. It's made in Illinois.
I said that. It's like citrusy, and then you go from something citrusy and kind of tropical to English beer. Well, that doesn't seem to like flow.
Well, let's see what I mean. I could instead roll with the vanilla cream ale, the Love Gun.
There you go. Oh, okay. The Love Gun. Watch out. See, because that has citrus in it.
No, it's vanilla. Is vanilla a citrus?
Oh, no. I thought it had also orange cream. Didn't you say it had oranges in it?
A vanilla cream ale.
Okay. What is this one?
Love Gun.
Oh, okay.
The vanilla cream ale.
Okay. I think that would follow up the Hawaii 5 Ale nicely.
It's a very good, very nice flavor. Smooth, good. No citrus whatsoever. But a nice sequel to the Hawaii 5 Ale.
Yeah. Because you can always add vanilla to fruit.
Sometimes I do.
Okay.
But I did go get some vanilla extract at the store last week because me and the boys made chocolate chip cookies over the weekend. So
fun.
It was a good time.
That sounds like a party.
It was a mess.
Do you let them eat the dough before they cook it?
We each had a little spoonful of the dough before. Yeah.
I buy chocolate chip cookie dough just so that the kids can eat it. They love, like, in the tubs.
Yeah. Why the hell do you think I got so damn fat?
Well,
schools used to have the fundraisers. They saw me coming a mile away. Like, let's get that back.
Okay.
All right.
Husker Games.
Husker Games.
TJ Lateef and Granddad and the quarterback from Purdue, Marcos, will be play callers.
Granddad?
Jalen Gramstad.
Okay.
Remember?
I know. I just feel like we should use his proper name. I don't know him well enough.
They call him. Oh, wait till we get to the Dylan Rhule part. There's so much information. He lets us know so many nicknames. It's awesome. I love a good nickname. I love nicknames.
Okay. So we got 3 guys who are going to be calling plays. Who do you think is going to be the most standout of that bunch? And why is it TJ?
Well, yeah, because I think all eyes are going to be on TJ Lateef because he was, highly recruited quarterback. I'm not so sure about the Purdue quarterback. Guess we'll just have to wait and see. We're never going to get to see, actually, because it's not televised. So we only have eyes and ears on the ground, boots on the ground. So you guys are boots on the ground, and you have to report back to us and let us know how they did.
I'm assuming that it's not going to be broadcast on the radio. Or will it? Because in the past, the spring game has been done on the Husker Sports Network, has it not?
It has, but it was also televised. I mean, I doubt it.
There's something to be said. There's something to be said about doing a game on the radio that's not being televised, because then no matter what you say, it's right. Trust me, I know. I did a lot of those. Where there's no way to fact check what old Greg is saying out at the football field or the basketball court. May or may not have been the same kid.
Well, okay. So the Husker Games this weekend, also volleyball plays a game this weekend, and the volleyball girls were talking today. Merritt Riley and
Bergen Riley,
excuse me, Harper Murray. I love her. She's just like the cutest and best. Okay, so everyone is giving Coach Danny a hard time about her outfit because she's been stressing out about what she's going to wear to the game for a while, apparently.
You mean the Husker game on Saturday?
No, to the volleyball game.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
The volleyball game on Saturday.
Excuse me. So I think she should get a custom-made jacquard red and gold lame suit.
I don't think she can turn that around in less than a week.
Oh, I'm sure she could.
Trust me. I pay an awful lot of money for my suits, and they can't turn them around in a week. It's just not possible.
No.
Not a thing that happens.
The way that the girls were talking about how things have changed just a little bit in volleyball, I think they're going to be pretty good this season coming up. They talked about the change up for the libero because Lexi is, with the Omaha Love. And they talked about how practices are different as well as tipping. And, Harper's there. She goes, I don't know if fans are going to know what the difference is, but there's going to be some things that we have changed up. So that made me think that we need to definitely get Beth on here to talk about that.
With Beth.
Yes, to explain to us what the changes are on the volleyball court.
Well, Beth is game anytime.
Yeah, because I want to know.
I think she'll probably want to do it after Saturday. Not that we can call her and be like, Beth, it's 10 o'clock. But yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Beth's the best. I've said this. We have the best volleyball rider. We have the best wrestling rider that you'll ever find. Beth and Dylan, respectfully. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's true. They know their stuff, guys.
Make it happen.
Way more than Greg.
True. It is a fact that I do not know much about volleyball. I've only called one. No, I take that back. 2 volleyball games on the radio. And they were both when I was in Nebraska, so 20 years ago.
Okay, so sorry.
It's okay.
Finish.
I'm done. I really am done.
How'd you call it if you don't know much about volleyball?
Well, the first time I was just doing color, and I was basically along for the ride. And Shadron went to the state tournament. This is actually the time that they Shadron went up against. I'm gonna get it wrong. I'm not gonna remember the name of the school, but it went up against Jordan Larson in this state tournament game, and you could tell one of these teams had a player who's going to go on and play Division I volleyball, and the other team did not. One of these teams is going to go on and have an Olympic gold medalist, and the other team did not. So that was along for the ride. But the other one was another like regional or district game or something like that. And basically the coach just helped me out. And I was like, what type of lingo, what type of verbiage, what do I say? And she gave me like, she's like, you know, we know the positions on a baseball diamond or on a football field, and she gave me the grid. She's like, all right, these are the zones. And she was tremendously helpful. Coach Angela Rhodes, by the way, she's still coaching. She's a state champion over in Wyoming with Douglas High School over in Wyoming. So a wonderful person.
Oh, good to know.
I'm right there with you, Aaron. I also have whiplash.
I don't know. I just wanted to mention Harper Murray.
I know. It's your girl crush.
I know. I definitely have one. I don't get her green nails, fingernails though. I know it's her thing. But lime green, do you?
No. Harper Murray is to you what Nate Swift was to me back in the day.
Mm-hmm. You have a crush.
I love Nate Swift. If I could track Nate Swift down and ask him to be on the show, I would.
Okay.
But I'd probably
press conferences this week. Finally. It has. You know why? Stephen Fromm, let me explain to you why this is all over the place. 1, Greg doesn't pay attention all week. 2,
it's not true.
I didn't. Yes, it did. Greg, have you watched a press conference?
No, but I watched clips of press conferences.
Okay, I've watched every press conference like 3 times.
Okay.
So Greg doesn't do anything. I do it all. And I didn't have time to put together the entire format the way I normally do. But this is the result. And as he's over there doing
Jackson Dart, the quarterback from Mississippi, drafted by the New York Giants at number 25 spot. Shedeur Sanders is still watching the draft.
Oh my God. 27, you said?
25th spot.
25th. Oh. Okay. Can we just have a guess? Who says that Shedeur is going tonight? There's only 3 spots left, right?
No, it's all the way up to 32.
32. So there's 5 spots left.
There's 6.
Oh, we're on 25, you said.
25 is in, or 25 is done. 25 is announced. 26th pick is in, but not yet publicized. So there's 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. So 1 pick is in, but not announced, and then 6 picks remaining.
Okay. Should we just take a guess and see if people think that Shedeur is going tonight, or is it going to be the second day? I'm curious what you guys think.
What's the pulse of the 5
Yes.
heart?
What's the pulse of 5 heart tonight? Are we feeling lucky for Shedeur?
Depends on your definition of lucky for Shedeur Sanders. I would say no. I think that if there was any expectation he was going to be drafted in the first night, he would be there.
Yeah.
If he's not there, he knows he's not being drafted in the first round.
I mean, I just felt like as soon as I saw that he wasn't there, Trinidad, hi, I'll come and see you soon, I promise. He's my friend.
Uh-huh.
As soon as I saw that Shedeur wasn't at the draft, I'm like, ooh, he must have gotten bad news for him not to show up. But the classy thing would have been to go. But maybe he doesn't get chosen until the second day. Ooh. Because they showed the sofa. You know, they all have like their own sitting areas, beautiful like sofas and chairs with gorgeous like antique rugs. Every single one of these guys that are expected to be in the top have their own like little hangout areas. And Shador's was empty with his name tag on the sofa.
Ooh, not a good sign.
I know. So
Trinidad says second day. Pitt is completely oblivious. As has Shitdoor gone yet? No. Aaron Keene says, I think that I couldn't give even one shit about what when Shador goes. That's fair. James Borman says, my pulse is currently 69. Not entirely the question we were asking. BFOTS Josh Hansen says, I have zero clue because F the NFL and F shittier. Justin Rogers says, don't forget to bring your receipt, y'all. I apologize. That was way too much of a drawl on the y'all for that one, Justin. I know that's not how you sound. I apologize. Fred says Shador is going third round, 83rd overall. ... Greg. ... You gotta make it personal, dude. And I don't disagree. Living in Omaha, David Matney, the official realtor of the Five Heart Podcast, says I think the retirement of his number actually hurt his draft stock. I agree. And while I know that was allegedly not, coaching staff's call, if you listen to Joel Klatt, who did not agree with the retirement of his or Travis Hunter's jerseys, he said he talked with the athletic director who said it was his call, and he said it's not as much about what they did on the field, but how they turned the culture around from a 1-11 program that was losing by an average of 30 points per game to, being 9-4 and finishing in the top 25, at the end of their 2 years. So, I don't know, different level of perspective. Do we think he has any class? No. Let's see.
No, he doesn't. Fred Sacco says he's going to the Steelers. He's going to Steel Town.
I'd rather not have.
It would take him if he were free. Yeah.
I'd rather not have a quarterback than have Shedeur Sanders.
But I do like what Vince said.
I was going to say the same thing. You start it. I'll highlight it. Ty goes before shittier, hopefully. I agree.
He that would make my whole entire fandom worthwhile. That one thing. I could die and be happy. I know it's so bad that you root for somebody. It's just,
Stephen Fromm says Dion keeping tabs on all the teams passing on his boy, get ready for the call out on the Stephen A. Smith show.
Yeah.
Let's see.
If you guys only knew, I think I talked about it, how horrible Colorado was to Nebraska fans. Not this past season, but the season before, because I was at Boulder. It was by far the worst fan experience of my life. They were horrible individuals trying to fight left and right. Girls yelling at me. They were horrible people.
Fred says, I think Shedeur being a D-bag, coached by a D-bag, hurt his stock. Diamond Dave says he's a really good player, just a blowhard like his dad.
He's a good player.
Why all the ill will towards those Catamites from Colorado?
Is a Catamite a buffalo?
We're just gonna no. And while it was Greggled, I'm uncomfortable saying what a Catamite is on the show.
Wait,
Blaine.
Wait. You did what? That's what I envision. That music right there just sounds so like in tune with what you're doing.
I didn't realize that that's what it sounded like. Like I was heading to about bar mitzvah.
In my mind, it's like, okay,
I'm
anyways.
just not going to say. I don't think. No, you're thinking of a stalactite or a stalagmite. There, Ken. A catamite is something quite different, according to Gregel. But again, I am very uncomfortable saying what that is.
It's basically what they did to the Northwestern newbies.
You just made Fred so happy.
Incoming freshman, you're a catamite.
Oh.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Fred, I hope you're happy. All right. Tell me more about these press conferences.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Who was it that used that word? Blaine?
It was Blaine.
Blaine. Huh.
Fred says, wow, Minnie, they grow up so fast. I take
Okay. So, yes, we have. Oh, Greg, this is what you miss the most. You know how Rhule. No.
Oh.
No. You know how Rhule was talking about linebacker Jacob Bauer.
Yes.
Last week?
Yes.
We got to see him on Tuesday and hear him. And he sounds to me like the most amazing kid. Plus, his muscles were gigantic. Here's one thing I love, by the way. For the press conferences, the football press conferences, everybody wears the same shirt. They're all black T-shirts that say Nebraska Huskers instead of Corn Huskers, but Nebraska Huskers. And then they have the Adidas emblem at the top and then the N at the bottom. All the players wear that. There's been a little variation done by Jacob Bauer's. Some players don't like sleeves. Some guys don't wear sleeves, I've noticed.
I can relate.
Apparently, if your muscles are too big, you just can't wear sleeves.
Where are your sleeves, Minnie?
Well, I live in Arizona, so that's another story. It's like almost 90 degrees here every day. You're just lucky I'm wearing anything at this point. Jacob doesn't wear sleeves on his Nebraska Huskers t-shirt. He cut them off. And I don't know. I kind of like that he's like, just like up there, kind of like just like I'm a worker and I'm gritty like that. I don't know.
Well, he's from California, so he's probably used to some heat.
I think it's because he works so hard. He needs to take his sleeves off.
That's definitely how that happens.
Anyways, he goes through
work-related casualty.
Greg, have you ever taken your sleeves off?
I have. I've been known to de-sleeve some of my shirts. There may come a time when Secure Your Balls is sleeveless. I just want you to know.
That is the worst shirt.
It's the funniest shirt. Why would this be the worst shirt?
That is the worst shirt. Only a guy would wear that shirt ever.
Yeah, well,
just so you know.
Only a guy has balls. It's true,
okay.
Fred. It's true.
So Jacob Bauer talks about how he got offered a scholarship, and there's a TikTok video if you're interested. You can watch it. It's only like a minute long of him getting offered the scholarship. It was pretty awesome. I love that they documented that. And then defensive back Amari Sanders also talked, which he was talking mainly about how amazing our defensive coaches are. Kind of soft-spoken. But obviously he's doing really well for him to be able to talk. And then we had running back Emmett Johnson. Go ahead.
Can we go back and talk about Jacob Bauer briefly?
Huh?
Do you know his story? So he walked on at Nebraska, and knowing that he'd have to pay for his schooling, turned down an opportunity to attend West Point and have a free education.
Yeah.
And so, then he put in the work, and of course, as we all saw the video now, Matt Rhule kind of, I don't want to say isolates him, but highlights him, spotlights him, brings him up, says, he's like, hey, he's like, you getting any NIL money? No. You want a scholarship? No. He's like, all right, well, I'm going to pay for your school. And then, the team mobs him, and he calls his mom and says, hey, I told you, that when I passed on West Point, I was going to come up here to Nebraska, and I was going to do what I could to make the team. And
Greg,
yes,
can I say something? This would be so much better if it were in a Five Heart Theater and you pretended to be Jacob Bauer.
I'm not going to do that.
I could be Matt Rhule, give you the scholarship.
I'm not going to see, my shirt still has the sleeves, so I can't really. Now's not the time. We should have prepared that ahead of time, and I'm sorry. I dropped the ball on that.
It would be so much better, though, if it was reenacted.
All right, hold on. We're just going to do this. I'm going to do this real quick. This is a solo performance. This is a solo performance. Don't.
Oh, solo? Solo?
Hey, Mom. Yeah, it's me. It's me, Jacob. Yeah. You know how I went to Nebraska and paid for school instead of going to West Point and having free education? Well, guess what, Mom? I'm on scholarship. I just want to thank you so much and believing in me and helping me to get to this point. And I can't wait. I'm going to pay you back, Mom. Student loans are tough, but now they're going to pay for my school. I love it here in Lincoln. This is a great story, but with NIL, we're not going to see many more stories like this. I may be the last walk-on ever to be granted a scholarship and handed like this. I feel it's blessed.
Ever, son?
Maybe, ever. We don't know. I just want to tell you, Mom, thank you for believing in me. And go Big Red, Mom.
Oh, I love you, Jacob. I'm so proud of you. And go Big Red.
What's Greg drinking today? Ta-da!
Let's see. I crashed your scene. Sorry. I was here, so I might as well. I'm a mom, too, so I can actually sound like a mom.
You were. It was a role that was very near and dear to your heart.
Yes. You did good. Thank you very much for acting that out. Way better.
I do feel like in a world where kids are getting paid to play college football, that we're going to see less and less of these stories. And I always celebrate these stories because and that's, I know Todd, our beloved Todd Wolverton in our Coronation Slack said, he mourns. He's like the walk-on tradition going away is one of the biggest reasons he's, I don't even say anti-NIL necessarily, but he would hate to see it go away because of NIL, because it's something that is legendary. Kids walk on just with a dream and a good work ethic. And that's all that Jacob Bauer had when he got to Lincoln. And now he's going to be a scholarship player on this football team.
Well, I think that when he was, because he did say he got a call to come to Nebraska. Granted, it was as a walk-on, but I think that the coaching staff must have already seen something in him. And having somebody that works that hard, I mean, you love the kind of Cinderella story, right? We all love it, and that's why we hate to see this go away. Maybe there will be some way, I'm sure there will be, with Matt Rhule as a coach. He's not giving up camps. He's doing those still, those Friday night lights. There's going to be kids that, who was it? Aaron Rostovsky was on Monday night, and he said that we have some coaches from other small colleges that come and watch our practices, and they kind of are giving Matt Rhule and company the in on some of their guys. Like, hey, you should take a look at our whatever.
Right.
So,
and that's the really nice symbiotic relationship or partnership between in a situation. Guys, smaller school coaches are saying, hey, give this guy a look. And it helps makes them look better because they can say they got a guy to the next level. And at the same time, if we are at a situation like we have been under the assumption we've been, where we have too many players, we can go to trusted places and say, this guy's going to be a really good player for you. If he doesn't land on another D1 school, maybe he goes to, I don't know, Nebraska Kearney, God forbid, or, something like that. So.
Yeah. Okay. So can I get to the Emmett Johnson part now?
Yes.
This is the coolest part.
The coolest part. We'll see.
I mean, I wish we had some music for this.
All right, what kind of music do you want?
Patriotic.
This is weird.
And I love. Okay, thank you. Okay, so he let us know that. Yes, very nice. Thank you. He let us know that the Navy SEALs visited our Husker football team, and they taught them. They were there for a few days, he said, and they taught them, breathing techniques, like breathing underwater and all that stuff, but also how to have mental toughness. How awesome is that? The Navy freaking SEALs.
I remember when Damian Jackson was on the roster, was on the team. We did a lot of those types of early morning, like surprise, like military type workouts. I'm not sure. I'd have to look, but I'm pretty sure. I'm fairly certain because of my overall lack of keeping things updated. The 5 Heart Podcast Facebook page, which, yes, is a real thing. If you go on Facebook and you type in 5 Heart Podcast, you'll see familiar logos that haven't been updated in years. But I'm almost certain that the cover photo on the Facebook page is Damian Jackson holding the flag at the front of the tunnel, getting ready for the tunnel walk. So,
oh wow.
So yeah, I mean,
I love
that. Not the first. I love it. I'm not, I leadership. Some of these, I don't know if environmental training is the right word to say it, but the endurance training, the extreme situation training, because when it's late in the game and you're gassed, you got to figure out how to get to that next level. So.
Mm-hmm. Ken E says Pelini brought in the SEALs before. See, this is why, thank you, Kenny. This is why it's so cool for me, anyways, to be a part of this, because I think this is like one of the coolest things I've heard. I love, love, love the military. And anybody that is in the chat or watching or listening that has been part of the military, thank you for your service, because this is like the one thing that I just so get behind. I wouldn't have known this. That Pelini did the same thing. That is a rock star move. And see, I'm building this Rolodex as a newer fan of what is going on, you know, how we're coaching and all that. So thank you for sharing.
You might be able to go back and find on YouTube some of those, like, I think it was during the Frost era, again, with Damian Jackson, some of those early morning, like pre-dawn, they're getting into, like, I would say Navy SEAL boats, but I just don't know how to better classify them. They're out at some lake or something nearby Lincoln and doing these team building exercises. It's always cool to watch. Like, I don't care. My thoughts on Scott Frost aside, those are cool moments. And I'm glad that these young men have the opportunity to experience those. So,
guys, they're talking about breathing underwater. I don't know exactly. I'm guessing holding your breath underwater and then, you know, breathing exercises. Maybe they like to tear apart what I say. That's what I meant.
I love this by Blaine, because I know you just mentioned how much you support, not just me, but I'm a big supporter of the military as well. Blaine says, thank you, Minnie. Enlisting in the U.S. Navy was the best option the judge gave me. How old were you, Blaine, when the judge gave you that ultimatum? I'm curious. Was it 18, 19, or 33? And Fred says, Navy SEALs go into water, Minnie. That's how water works. Or is that how SEALs work, Fred? Let's get our shit straight.
His dogs have messed up his game tonight. His
Blaine,
miniature poodles.
I didn't ask you what year it was, Blaine. I asked how old you were when the judge gave you that offer.
Well, it was back in 79, so he had to be an adult. It was probably, what, 18, 17?
I'm trying to figure that out.
You do the math, Greg.
I'm trying to figure that out. You can enlist in the military later than straight out of high school.
Oh, my God. You know, sometimes you ask the most, like,
banal, ridiculous.
You ask questions that I'm like, I don't know if I would ask that, because it's asking somebody their age.
No, it's asking what age they were given the option.
Obviously, it's asking what his age is.
No, because you could be 18 and say you're 18, but I don't know if you're 18 in 2020 or in the year 2000 like I was, or in the unspecified year that you turned 18, or in 1964. He
said it was in 1979.
But he didn't say what age he was. It was the question.
Yeah, but why does that matter?
Because I just asked a question and he's tiptoeing around the answer. He's ducking me, and I don't like to be ducked.
I guess. Okay, we're going to let this one go. You don't have to answer them, because guess what? You're young at heart. That's all we're all young at heart.
Blaine, if you don't answer the question, you're not welcome back next week.
He was born in 1931.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to hear. Thank you.
Oh, and Nebraska strong. Go Big Red. Spent 9 years as an Air Force medic. Thank you for your service.
All of you. Thank you. I clink beers with you all.
Okay. Greg. Quit asking people how old they are. Okay. Nobody wants to talk about
I didn't ask how old he was now. I asked how old he was.
You did, essentially.
No, I asked how old he was when the judge gave him the option to go into the Navy.
Okay.
Which could have been in 1979. It could have been 5 years ago. That's what the point I'm trying to make. I never once asked his age. I asked what age was he when he was given the option by the judge. Whether 5 years ago or 40 years
sometimes, ago. Greg, sometimes the questions you ask
tremble.
They seem a little awkward when they're asked. It's like social awkwardness, and I feel it. It's like, whoa. Okay. Anyways, we also talked. What?
I'm waiting for Blaine to answer my question.
He did. He told you how old he was.
No.
All right. So today we talked to Pat Stewart, who is our GM. And by the way, Matt Rhule did make it clear the other day.
Sir Patrick Stewart.
Sir Patrick Stewart. That Pat Stewart works for Matt Rhule. Remember how we were like confused about the hierarchy? How does the triangle work? Who's triangle? Who's at the top of the triangle?
Pyramid?
Oh.
You saying that the Nebraska football program is a pyramid scheme? Matt Rhule's recruited 2 of his buddies who recruited 2 of their buddies. I broke her. I broke Minnie. All right. Pat Stewart made clear that he works for Matt Rhule. Matt Rhule is the CEO. He's the owner. I'm telling you, Fred.
Be right back. Excuse me. Are you good right now?
I'm good. What I liked about this, the clip that I saw from Pat Stewart, was that he said why he left the NFL to go to the college ranks. He's like, you have 32 options to be a general manager in the NFL. You have a lot more opportunities in college football. And if he was going to do it, he was going to do it with a familiar face, somebody that he knew, somebody that he trusted. And that's why Matt Rhule, who he had a pre-existing relationship with, work alongside Matt Rhule for the betterment of Nebraska football. Let's see. Fred wants to know, does Minnie have a pyramid scheme? This all made her a bit anxious. I wonder if her pyramid scheme's like Michael Scott's pyramid scheme that's upside down and he doesn't realize it's a pyramid scheme until it's turned right side up.
Oh my gosh. I cannot believe this.
Oh, she can still hear us. Crap.
I can't. I heard the whole thing. Oh my gosh. This is ridiculous. No, I went to go get.
Oh, drinky time. Yeah. Hey, guess who was just drafted?
It's never a surprise. Who? No. Shador?
No.
Oh. Who?
Anybody but Shador. 2 first-round selections left.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Nebraska is not a pyramid scheme. Oh
I didn't say it was. I just
you
said maybe.
Did. You're like, are you saying?
But not just Nebraska, but like realistically, all these athletic programs.
Okay, so I mean, he's a funny guy. He kind of makes people laugh. So I'm glad that we have him as our GM. Then we heard from Vincent Shavers, who is a baller. You know what he does? He stands there. And then somebody pointed this out in the chat because I was watching it live. Somebody's like, oh yeah, he's the man because he has to bend over to talk in the mic like this. Apparently.
He had some really good things to say about Elijah Pritchett.
Yeah, he did. What were they?
Basically, he said that he's I don't remember the exact words, but he makes you want to go sit on the bench when you like you don't want to try to rush against him. Had very positive things to say about the Alabama transfer.
He said he is letting us know what to look out for. So he knows, like, he'll yell out, pull, 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 when the offense is pulling on a certain side. So he is like telling us, okay, this is your guy. He's basically running that line, is what it sounds like.
Which I'm not terribly comfortable with. And the reason being is we just talked last week about Justin Evans and how he's the, when he's taking over the center duties, that, kind of makes him the general of the offensive line. I think
no, not Elijah Pritchett. Marcus Watson Trent. Sorry, that's who we're talking about.
Where the hell did that come from?
That's who that's who I was talking about.
You never mentioned his name. We went from talking about Vincent Shavers and Elijah Pritchett.
Vincent Shavers. No, that's who Vincent Shavers was talking about.
I was talking about Elijah Pritchett.
Yeah, but that's
the
not
offensive
who
lineman transfer
Vincent
from
Shavers
Alabama
was talking about. That's not who he was talking about.
I was paraphrasing Vincent Shavers Jr. talking about Elijah Pritchett.
I didn't hear that
he
part.
said that he's a man and he's doing very good things on the offensive line. He's like, you don't want to go up against that guy. Now, Marquise Watson Trent, different story. Tell me about that.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I said earlier. That's who Marquise Watson Trent is. Okay. He's running the line. He's telling them, because of all of his experience. Greg, I'm sorry.
I'm here.
What we were doing. I shouldn't walk away.
I'm
in
here.
the middle of a show. Okay. I apologize.
All good. This is actually probably better for the viewers.
No, just come back. Okay. But he was talking very highly about how Marquise Watson Trent is running, sharing so much knowledge with everybody. It's a big deal. Now,
I do like that. I do like that he's recognizing protection schemes, blocking schemes, and able to call them out, because that will obviously help our front seven in real game situations. So,
yes. And may I talk now about Dylan Raiola?
No. Who else we got?
We do have Ja'Cory Barney Jr.
Let's talk about it. What about, how do we miss Amari Sanders?
We already talked about him.
What did he say?
He was on Tuesday.
What did he say?
Not a whole lot. He just talked about the defensive coach.
Okay. We didn't talk about that at all.
No, I did. That's what I said.
He
Okay,
said,
so
he said we got a good and that's it.
Ja'Cory Barney said he's going to be in the speed contest on Saturday.
Ooh.
And you're blurry, so you need to fix your thing. And he's pretty confident he's going to win. And they're like, well, who else is going to be in there with you? And he said, nobody that I need to worry about. Because he's like, I could do 22 miles per hour. But, Malcolm Hartzog occasionally can do 22. Donovan Jones, I think is what he said as well. So that'll be interesting, the speed test. They're doing some really fun, athletic tests.
Right. Skills.
The Husker Games.
You think we'll see, like at the Polynesian Bowl, do you think we will see Dylan heave the ball 70 yards? I wouldn't do that at this point. Save his arm.
Oh, Dylan's not even suiting out since you brought him up. He told us that
I figured
today.
If I didn't, you would. So
he told us that he's not even dressing out today. And I was like, why would anyone go then?
Why would anyone? Because I don't know. It's just like Team USA in 1980. The name on the front of the name on the front of the jersey is a hell of a lot more important than the name on the back of the jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. Ken E says Caleb Benning clocked at 22 miles an hour last year.
Oh.
Michael Scott was clocking like 37 back in the day.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Dylan said that he has like 7 guys that are leaders on the team, and I couldn't catch them all, but I got 4 of them. Do you want to hear?
Wait a minute. Why couldn't you catch them all? You said you watched the press conference 3 times.
Because I wasn't taking notes.
Because you were just watching, getting lost in his dreamy eyes.
Well, I can tell you that the lady, Amy she was the first to ask, when are you getting your hair cut? And he goes, I get it cut every Friday. And she goes, oh, are you going to change your style? And he goes, no, I like my style. This is how I'm keeping it, basically. So stop asking about his hair, people. And by the way, he looks so super fit.
Looks super fat, you mean?
No, not at all. He is not.
I think he needs a buzz cut. That'll make him more aerodynamic. And maybe when he slides those 2 yards early, he'll like whoosh, slide past the marker.
Okay. Well, he wears a helmet, so that doesn't matter. His really curly hair. Yeah, on top.
Yeah. Looks like a damn alpaca.
I think no, it doesn't. Anyways,
or a llama or one of those types of 4-legged hooved animals.
Craig, I can't wait for your boys to get to be teenagers. And just wait.
Yeah, they'll go to the barbershop and get haircuts.
Mm-hmm. You have no control. I'm telling you. You think you do?
I don't have control over them now. What makes you think everything's going to change 10 years from now?
Yeah, and you think they're going to go to the barbershop when you say, okay, we're going. Let's go.
Like, come on, boys. Let's go to Target. All right, Dad. And then we go to the barbershop. Sit in your chair. We'll go to Target after if you're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Dylan's leadership.
Aaron says, Minnie, stop talking about his hair, then goes on to wax poetic about his hair for 3 minutes.
Okay. I mean, I just like him. You guys have to like his personality too. He has such a nice personality. So
Dylan
nice.
Alpaca.
No.
I think you're on to something. I think he needs to go embrace his heritage to the max. Get the full Samoan warrior face, neck, shoulder, arm tattoo. Could you imagine the fear that he was striking to the opposing defenses if he just has like, ugh. I think it'd be badass.
You could do a henna tattoo.
No, that's so feminine and weird. Like, I've never seen a dude with a henna tattoo. Probably doesn't exist. You got to go full. You got to embrace the pain. You got to embrace the suck.
Okay. So what he was talking about today are some of his guys, some of his leaders that he says stood out. And he's like, I'm sure I'm going to forget a couple guys. There's a couple guys that I would never guess would make this list because I didn't know anything about them. Gage
never heard their names.
Stenger. No, I have. Gage Stenger. Henry Latofsky, he said, is a leader.
I believe it.
Of course, Dane Key. So those are just a couple of guys that I was like, huh, that's interesting. Dane Key has been staying with him all week, he says, and it's been a lot of fun.
Do you think
it does sound fun?
Do you think they'll develop the type of roommate relationship that Tommy Armstrong and Jordan Westerkamp had?
Oh, I thought you were going to say that Ja'Cory Barney and Dylan had before. Dylan said he's inviting a bunch of guys over tonight for the NFL draft.
I bet he is. I bet it's going to be more like a frat party type of environment over there. Get a couple of the co-eds, have some kegs, good times.
I doubt it.
They're in college, Minnie. They have money to burn now. The unprecedented amounts of money that they could just spend.
I just don't think that's Dylan's thing. But he did compare our wide receiver room. This is my favorite part. My favorite part of the day. If you get nothing from this, I mean, other than the nicknames, of course. He compared our wide receiver room to Ferraris and Lamborghinis. How awesome is that?
Okay.
I love that.
I feel like that's overpriced.
And then
I already feel like we spent too much.
I loved it.
You know what? I'm not even a Ford guy, but
we got some horsepower. We got some horsepower.
I'd rather have a receiver that's built Ford tough.
Okay, well, since you mentioned that, we have a tight end who is built Ram tough.
Oh God.
His name is Heinrich Harburg. According to Dylan,
we have a quarterback built Ram tough?
No. People wanted to know how is he doing on transitioning to a tight end. And somebody said how he's doing great. And he has a nickname, by the way. His nickname. Okay, I'm going to tell you after I tell you the vehicle he is. Yes, he's a TRX truck.
Can he beat you to
it? Ken, that is so... I didn't know what a TRX truck was, so I had to look it up. That's 800 horsepower. Yeah. 36-inch wheels. Like, it is insane. So that's our tight end right there. I do like this comparison to vehicles.
You know what though? Part of me is in agreement with Stephen Fromm. And again, this is not the part of me that drinks the Kool-Aid every offseason, but Stephen Fromm says, I don't believe anything these coaches say until they actually deliver on what they're hyping up. Now, full disclosure or in full support of Minnie here, this is not the coaches saying, this was Dylan saying this about his wide receivers and tight ends. But I understand, Stephen, what you're saying.
It's different because it's coming from teammates. I like that. I mean,
all right. First round is done and no Sanders was called. So
that's why he wasn't there, you guys.
That's why I wasn't there.
Well, cheers to the third round. Greg, cheers.
I'm out of beer. I mean, I'm not out. I don't have any open beers.
You don't even have a sip?
I mean, I mean, I can. Sorry.
I can't even cheers.
How often do I cheers myself all the time? All right. I clink on my own.
Myself. It's actually bad luck. No, that's why you have a gray cloud.
Fred says, Greg did a real Tim Tool time there. Yes, I did. Thank you. Aaron says, time to go brave the flooded streets of Omaha and drive home. Well, be safe, man. Text us when you get home so we know you got home safe, please. And Ken says, I have a single cab Ford. Probably the last year you could get an XLT. You get a regular cab, all options. My truck only has 400 horsepower, and it's a rocket ship.
That's insane. Okay. Are we still doing this?
Fred says Minnie is booze shaming. This is where we are. This is what we become. And Pitt cheers you. He clinked with you.
Oh, yay. Okay, somebody's cheers. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
And Fred says, don't cheers yourself
me.
too much, Greg. You'll go blind. I thought you'd get hairy palms if you cheers yourself too much. I'm confused.
Is this the end of the show? Are we leaving?
No, I think we still have more, don't we? Yeah. Okay, guess who was in town today, Minnie? We talked about him last week, Minnie.
I wasn't done talking about Dylan, by the way.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought you were. Okay, what more do we have to talk about with Dylan? So
he let us know that there's some nicknames. He said Bonner, Jenner and Bonner. They call him Wood. I know. He didn't give us an explanation for that one. But he did give us an explanation for Heinrichs.
Classic Nebraska strong. Well done. Okay, what's Heinrichs again? The TRX?
No, they call him Spirit.
Okay, why? Wait, okay, comma, why? I don't want to give Fred or anybody else thoughts.
Because, are you familiar with the movie Spirit and the series? The little horse? Kids? No. What?
No.
You have kids. How do you not?
We don't watch movies about horses running in the plains. That's dumb.
It's animated. It's a kids movie.
Yeah, there are a lot of movies that are animated that I'm not going to show my kids. And first of all, for me to show my kid an animated movie, I have to be somewhat interested in it too. And I'm not interested in Spirit. No.
Well, Greg, that just kind of brought you down a peg in the dad.
That's fine.
Genre. Okay.
Yeah, so South Park is animated. Would you show my children South Park? I wouldn't.
No, it's not a kid's show. Spirit is an animated movie, and I think there was a series also. My girls watched it, of course. So I knew exactly who Spirit is. Spirit is a horse. And the reason I call him Spirit is because when he catches the ball, he jumps up and he gallops.
What are we doing? This is a highly respected college football player.
This is what he said. I swear. This is exactly how he said it. He said, of course, we're going to have to come up with a new nickname because I don't think he's doing that anymore, of course. He didn't want to embarrass Heinrich. But I love that Spirit. Just guys having, fun.
I'm uncomfortable with the fact that the next thing you know, they're going to be naming, giving each other like Pokemon nicknames, and I cannot abide that. Like, let's have some damn respect. All right, on our nicknames. Let's not go to the childish level. All right,
they're kids. They are kids.
I don't know.
All right, so I love that. Yeah, okay. I mean, just call him H. That's a good nickname, right? But I do love
call him QB1.
So Charmar Brown, go ahead.
Charmar Brown, North Dakota State, the Jerry Rice Award winner as a freshman last year, over 1,700 yards, something like that. I think. I don't remember the stats. I had him last week. Hopefully you remember. If not, go back and watch the last week's show again. He was in town today. He's picked up some interest from these D1 programs like Nebraska, LSU, Miami is another one that's also interested. But he is an Omaha native. And I think he would be a welcome addition to what I consider a pretty thin running back room. So,
yeah, it'd be good. Okay. NCAA playoffs. The NCAA met in Dallas, Texas this week to go through their own rule book and eliminate 150 plus rules.
It's an awful lot of rules.
I know. I told you, this was Monday night. I read the rule book.
The whole thing?
Yeah. I did.
How many nights did you fall asleep reading that?
No, I read it in one sitting. Yeah. It's like 250 or almost 300 pages.
Be like, oh, okay. So I'd just be like, this would be me trying to read the NCAA rule book in bed.
Anyways, they're eliminating 150 of those rules. I don't know why. It seems maybe they're trying to simplify it.
God, I hope so.
But they also were talking about the playoffs.
Playoffs? I'm talking about playoffs. Playoffs? Tell me about the playoffs.
They basically said that they're looking at expanding it to possibly, 14, 16.
It's getting ridiculous. I mean, it's already out of hand, but it's getting.
Here's the thing I looked up, okay? Because I wanted to know, why is there so many bowl games? Number one, there's a lot of. Do you know this last season we had 41 bowl games? Why?
How many teams played in those bowl games, Minnie?
Well, obviously, at least what? There's 7 that are actually going to the finals, right? So subtract 7 from 41. What is that?
How are there 7 going to the finals?
There's 7 bowl games. 7 bowl games.
Right. In the playoffs.
Well, look at that.
Well, that's new.
What?
I think it was the high 5 or the 5 or something. I don't know. Anyway. We're not going to. It's like taking your broken down car to the automobile or to the shop. It's not going to replicate the problem while they have it. So 7 games in the playoffs. What are we doing?
I'm just trying.
It's tripping. Fred's hallucinating.
I don't know how to do it.
And
maybe it's like 1.
And Ken E is high as a cat. What is going on with y'all? Like
the only thing I know how to do is, can I do this?
Apparently not right now. There you go. Do y'all need intervention? Like, how about next week everybody shows up and stays sober for the entire show? Can we try that? I don't know what the hell y'all are doing over there in your own spots. So.
No, look at that.
This is.
Shut up.
What are we doing?
Balloons and confetti.
Oh my God. Hold on.
I love it.
I'm not ready for that one.
What?
What time is it? God dang it. 10:55. I don't need to be starting another tall boy, but here I am starting another tall boy.
This is what I'm on, the gram.
You're throwing up gang signs. Gonna get us all shot.
All right. So 12, 14, 16.
That was
team
a weird
playoffs. Thing. But we have so many bowl games. And you asked me how many teams actually have played in bowl games this last season. I have no idea. I was hoping somebody would do the math. What? What are you drinking?
This is the old speckled hen, and it kind of tastes like.
I told you.
Huh. This is gonna be
like
fun.
Sulfur.
There's no description on this one. I would definitely not call it smooth and refreshing and bursting with flavor like the can suggests.
Bursting with flavor. Hey, Greg. Cheers. Ready?
Yeah. Cheers.
1, 2, 3. Yay.
That's a great question.
Come on, you have to take a drink.
Oh, shit. Sorry.
It's bad luck.
Oh, it might be bad luck to finish this beer. Oh.
Okay. Well. Is
Randy
it really?
Sullivan Jr. also loves the fact that you're cracking open too. Yes. Check the drink by dating. Randy. Let's see here. Best by 31 of August 2025.
So you're fine.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not saying it's going to kill me. I'm just saying it doesn't taste great.
Okay. I don't know. How do you guys feel about an expanded playoff?
I don't like it.
And more bowl games, potentially. And it going even, I think most college football fans are not really NFL fans. You're either in one camp or the other.
Most, I don't know about most. I think most.
Would you say like 50%?
That's a tough one. I don't know.
Okay. Well,
honestly, I don't know.
Estimate. If you are an NFL fan, say who you like in the chat so we could kind of get a good idea. If you're not an NFL fan, just say no. Or Nebraska.
Let's see.
So my thought is this, Greg. If we just do, I think somebody mentioned it, 70 bowl games, do 20 playoff bowls, everybody gets a participation award. So they expand the season that way.
Excuse me. Aaron wants more playoffs. Aaron loves the NFL way more than college football, so Aaron is not to be trusted.
I don't think he is. I'm just now figuring this out for the first time.
Blaine Cole, 83-year-old Blaine Cole, says Nebraska Cornhuskers are all that matter to me.
102.
102-year-old Blaine Cole.
Honestly, what did you do? You're age shaming people?
Me? No. Well, you got to remember, this show was built on age shaming John. Like we used to talk about, Haas and I used to talk about how John used to march with General Burnside back in the Civil War.
John isn't even that old.
But that's the thing joke,
that's crazy.
Minnie, that's the joke.
No. He's not that much older than most people. You.
I didn't mean that. John is well into his 60s. I know that for a fact.
He's 64. That's not very old.
That's well into his 60s.
All right. So see, here's my point. Trinidad is a Green Bay Packers fan, and nobody else other than Rostovsky is a NFL fan. See? 50% is liberal.
Rostovsky says the playoff expansion is helping even the score. Randy says college is way better. in the NFL, they turn into prima donnas and drama.
Drama.
I'm trying to remember what show it was. They were talking about pre-Madonnas, like, yeah, pre-Madonna, like before Madonna's. Like, no, it's prima donnas. Anyway, it's a pun.
Prima.
Donnas, yeah. And Fred saying, "Oh shit, Minnie's now saying all of us are old in the chat." Nice.
I didn't. That was him. That was Greg.
We are very much distinguishable, both in voice and appearance. So Fred would know. No. Fred would know if you were saying something versus I were saying something.
I don't think he would. He went and got 2 miniature poodles today.
And he's on a second bottle of wine. So
there you go.
I'm surprised he's even upright and able to spell prima donna. So
okay. Well, all right. So we don't want an expanded playoff. Well, it's coming anyways, whether we want it or not. And maybe by us just not watching, they will get the point.
No, I don't think we'll ever not watch. You know, like everybody says, vote with your remote or something like that. Turn it off if you don't like it. But everybody still watches the Marvel stuff, the latest Star Wars stuff. They'll keep watching the expanded. They could have 120 teams in the college football playoffs, and people still watch. It's a little bit crazy.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Let everyone go to a bowl game. Greg.
Before you say that, can I highlight this one from Nebraska Strong?
Okay, yes.
Nebraska Strong says, OMG, like Fred said, we might as well just start the playoffs in September.
Yeah, that's the problem. It feels like number one, it overlaps with NFL playoffs. Already. Do you know that? By going into this 12-team play, it already overlaps with what the NFL is doing. So that's why we have to have the playoff on a Monday night.
Right.
I mean, who here wants to watch a playoff game on a Monday freaking night?
I mean, I'll say this. They have Monday Night Football in the NFL, so it's kind of just a continuation of that, especially when ESPN has the rights. Living in Omaha, David Manny says, expand the playoff
game.
So more players can opt out. And that's not the one I wanted. James Boardman says the only thing expanding in Nebraska is Dylan.
Yeah, well, James.
Rostovsky says the national championship is always on a Monday, so big whoop.
I don't like it. Okay, anyways, I'd rather it be on a Saturday. I'm sure most college fans would. You could have a big party.
You could still have a party on a Monday, just don't go to work on Tuesday.
Really? How many fans do you think are like, okay, on Martin Luther King Day, I'm going to have a big party and not go to school, not go to work the next day, when you have to take your kids to school anyways? You have to get up anyways.
Do you know the amount of people that take off for the first day of March Madness? That's a Thursday.
Is it?
Yeah. Like there are some people who just call off that day, or they take a vacation day ahead of time, and they sit there and they watch college basketball from noon to midnight. Mm-hmm. So I think, look, if you want to bet, if Nebraska's playing on in the college football playoffs on a Monday, Minnie, you're not working on Tuesday. I know this.
Oh, definitely not. You're absolutely right.
And your girls are going to have to find their own way to school on Tuesday.
They can stay home.
There you go. I'll take my boys to school, and then I'll come back and go back to bed. So just think you could have a fun Monday night therapy watch along as Nebraska beats whomever in the college football playoffs.
No.
I mean, no.
If Nebraska is in the playoffs. You guys will not be seeing me.
We did a 5-heart live for the Big Bad Mower Company Pinstripe Bowl.
Yeah.
You could do it.
It was Saturday morning.
I was drinking coffee. Do you know what I usually drink when we do this show? Beer. I was drinking coffee. All I'm saying is you could do it. I believe in you, Minnie Hunt.
Well, I'm not showing up.
Okay. Sorry, everybody. You're not going to have a show that week.
It's just that you would expect that I would be there, and I would expect you guys to be there. Okay. Can we get through the rest of this? I don't think we're going to do number 7. I don't see any point in it.
Okay. That's good because I think it just got eliminated from my format. I don't really think if you take out number 7, I don't think we have anything else to talk about.
There you go. We're done.
Hey, everybody. We got some started comments.
Don't forget some housekeeping.
And before we do the started comments, let's remind you about the housekeeping. I always like to tell all of our viewers, you wonderful viewers, especially if you're on YouTube, make sure, that's not what I wanted to say, that you like this video, subscribe to the Coronation YouTube channel, and Minnie, if you could be I'm very confused by what's going on now. Could you point to the bell?
I'm guessing. Is it over there?
Yes!
I have a 50-50 chance. I got it right the first time ever.
Make sure you ring that bell for notifications so you never miss when we drop a new episode. Also, John has books. Here's one of them, Bed Dead, Never Been to Europe, yada, yada, yada. They're all available on Amazon. And somebody earlier in the show said something about this. I just feel like I still have the gift saved, so let's throw it out there. Ta-da! Never gets old. Love it. And
what? Why did we put that up there?
You said something about Dylan. And make sure that you get your sweet, sweet merch, just like you can secure your balls, copycorn.com or RTFB.
No.
What?
That shirt sounds like it belongs to a catamite. I can't eat.
Stop.
I can't.
Don't do that.
It's my new favorite word.
When did you learn this word?
Just tonight.
Did you Google it before the show?
No. I Googled it right after you Greggled it.
So why did you, you said it first.
In a sentence?
You said it. Or somebody else in the comments did. I don't know. I can't remember.
No, Kenny said it. Kenny said it.
Kenny, look what you started. Damn it. So anyway, copycorn.com is a great place to get all your sweet, sweet merch. And I'm going to start designing my very own Corn Nation 5-Heart Podcast floral calendar. And we'll see if we can't get that rocked before the new season begins. And if not by the new season, hopefully by 2026. Complete with all the vintage 80s flowers that you need and all the other fun stuff. So stick around. We'll even put some important dates in there, like Minnie's birthday, not her year, because we're respectful. My birthday, John's birthday, going all the way back to 1883. And yeah, we had a good time. Good time to get that calendar going. Copycorn.com. Sweet merch. All right. Let's see. Great question here from Pitt at 9:12 p.m. almost 2 hours ago. What's Greg smoking today? Nothing, because Greg doesn't do that. And then Pitt also said, is that a Blue Chew intro, Greg? No, I don't have a Blue Chew ad for you this week. Can't even make one up right now. And I apologize for that. I feel like I'm letting everybody down. Pitt also says, Scott Frost took my dogs. I do blame Scott Frost for that.
Could be.
Minnie, can you do your thing again? There's a reason why. There we go. Nebraska Strong says, we need to address the elephant in the room. We need our balloon launch brought back for all of our home games. All right, that's enough, Minnie. Too much.
You're just jealous that you can't do it.
I can't do anything. What do you think? Balloons on all the home games or just special games a couple times a year?
I would love it. I think balloons are a must.
Balloons?
I mean, obviously you don't do it for night games.
Why not?
But because you can't see the balloons, Greg.
You can't until they get out from under the lights of the
stadium. All right. We're just focus.
Let's see. Fred says, what's Greg chewing today? What's Greg chewing today? Well, Aaron says, Greg let us down, unlike Blue Chew. There, I hope. That's right. You'll never be let down by Blue Chew, and neither will your partner. With its active, the same active ingredients as Viagra and the other one. And because it's chewable, it can activate and be ready to go in 50. So you can plan something or just be ready to go when your partner's ready to go. Maybe a little spontaneity hits the bloodstream.
Well, it can't be spontaneous because you just said it takes a while.
It takes 15 minutes, Minnie.
That's not spontaneous.
You can do a lot of things in 15 minutes, Minnie, that don't require all of that. I think.
Go get gas in my car. Go wash my car. That's romantic in my mind.
Aaron Rostovsky says, as a pharmacist, I completely disagree with the rest of this commercial.
All right.
Okay, fine. But with Blue Chew, you don't have to have any awkward conversations with a pharmacist. You'll never have to. Aaron Rostovsky will never have to know about the confidence that you need in the bedroom because it's all handled online and it gets shipped directly to your house in a discreet package, but there will be nothing.
What'd you say? You're gone. I can't hear you now. He got so excited. That's what happens, you guys.
Okay, I'm back.
All right. Well, for Greg and myself, this has been a wonderful.
There are more starred comments. Don't go doing this to me. Ken E says, how do you get a hold of Eckler to make the Gunter position a real thing? Minnie, do you know how to get in touch with Coach Mike Eckler?
I mean, Jacob Bauer, no sleeves guy, he said that he might talk to Eckler about it.
Okay. Aaron says Greg blew out his mic, which you can experience if you take Vince says that was a little premature. That's good times. Fred said, I did not know who started this comment. Fred says, I hear Greg is great at solo performances. I don't know about that. I don't know what you've heard. I've been known to rattle off a nice soliloquy, maybe a monologue from time to time. To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether just no.
Greg, I don't think that's what he meant. That's all it is.
Just fortune.
Okay. Moving on.
Nebraska Strong says, D coaches are awesome till we give up a 50 burger to Penn State. Losing Tony White was a huge debacle, which I disagree.
Yeah. No, I think we actually got somebody better.
Yep. And we got people in there that Matt Rhule trusts.
He's the dude, and he's the dude. We know that.
I love the randomness of our wonderful friends here. Ken E says, good news, found my nitro tablets. Isn't nitro like what you got to take if you're like getting your heart regulated, like nitroglycerin? Bad news is that pill bottle is what was making the racket in the dryer. That mean
Ken E., do you need to see our resident pharmacist, Aaron Rostowski?
He does. I think he does. Make sure you can take those. Ask Aaron. He'll tell you.
Aaron, is it safe for him to take those dryer rattled nitro tablets? We don't want his heart to explode.
I mean, you don't chew gum that you found in the, in the dryer. So no, I don't think it is.
I mean, I don't think gum is the same as a nitro tablet, though.
Yeah, I don't know. Isn't that for your heart?
That's what I thought, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Fred says, whatever Greg's doing just made my dogs freak out. That's when I was making the patriotic grand old flag trumpet sound.
Yeah, that was good.
But also, Fred, it's not my fault. You just got dogs today. They're not used to me yet. They're not used to you yet. Aaron advises against keeping your meds in the washer or dryer.
Spoken like a true pharmacist.
And you know what? That's probably, you take them when you feel chest pain. Okay, so, but this is probably I feel like this is something that he could actually, honestly, as a pharmacist, sign off on as advice.
Well, he's not going to say anything that is not right.
Fair.
Of course not. His reputation is on the line.
Vince Watson says she is taking over one night at a time. Of course, she's talking about you, and she's talking Minnie, and Vince is talking about you taking over this show one night at a time.
Yeah, I am.
So
we're going to switch places next week.
You know what the problem with that, though? That means you're going to have to do more work because you'll have to flip the artwork.
Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna just act like Greg. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna act like Greg and not do any work.
You better have a tip-top Blue Chew spot ready to go. That'd be nice.
Oh, don't worry.
A Blue Chew ad from the women's perspective next week on a very special 5 Heart Theater. I can't wait. That's going to be awesome.
Men, you don't need Blue Chew. All you need to do is take your lady out for dinner once in a while. Take her to the symphony. What? Why are you looking at me like this? This is all that's required.
I'm not looking at you like anything. I'm looking at the comments.
Okay.
Aaron says, yeah, those nitro tabs go bad so easily with light/heat/moisture. They will not do the trick. So,
see,
Ken E., we would get those replaced, please. All right, more starred comments. Nebraska is Amway. What the hell is Amway?
Is
it a charity?
Pyramid.
Oh.
Pyramid scheme from the 80s.
Oh, gosh, no wonder. I wasn't alive then. I mean, I wasn't knowledgeable. Not that much has changed. All right. We have the 5 Dylan podcast, says James Boardman.
It's a good one.
And Fred says, remember, James, 5 Dylans is still 2 yards too short.
Guys.
You were going to like that at the beginning. I knew you were.
So unnecessary.
Pitt says, I look at Madonna now and just imagine that she smells horrible. You started that. I can't believe you started that. What are you doing?
Because what has Madonna done?
Nothing.
To herself.
Plastic surgery that looks like it's gone horribly awry. Ken E says, if I had a lady, I wouldn't be watching a podcast. I mean,
Ken.
I don't know if we believe that, because most of the gentlemen here have ladies. And they're still here. Why? Because it's a great community that we have built here and
Greg,
welcome.
I don't think so. I think again, you're being liberal with the percentage. Just saying.
Sorry, guys. You're all lonely.
Not lonely. You're not lonely. Who needs them?
Kenny corrects the math. Wouldn't 5 Dylans be 10 yards too short?
That's just not right.
The last of the starred comments comes from Nebraska Strong. And I saved this one. It wasn't the last one chronologically, but it's the last one that I want to. Greg, what's the worst beer you have ever had? The worst beer that I have ever had, I had in, let's see, it was in Oregon. It was Nebraska's first year in the Big Ten, and I was drinking this beer on vacation with friends of mine watching the Nebraska-Wisconsin game, and we got the shit kicked out of us. That didn't make the beer taste any better. The beer in question is called Arrogant Bastard Ale. And I was curious about it just by the name alone. But this was, I can't remember if it was oak or hickory aged. So Budweiser is Beechwood aged. It's a smoother flavor. Like this, I felt like you could taste the tree. Like this was a very, very bitter beer. I to this day, I do not care for Arrogant Bastard Ale. Fun logo, fun name to say, but the beer itself was pretty bad. So Blaine Cole says, my wife left me this morning.
That is, see what you do whenever you talk about. Are you okay, Blaine?
Back? Is she like did she go to the mall and did she go to the store and did she? I apologize. I'm not trying to pry. I'm just trying to she can leave and then come back, or did she leave and go?
He's in your boat, Greg.
Oh shit! I'm sorry. I wish I could say something that was more.
Oh no! She went to work. She went to work.
That is not my boat. That is a very different boat.
I'm sorry. Okay. Hey, Arrogant Bastard Ale actually sounds, if I were a beer drinker, it sounds pretty good. One, it's not hickory, it's oak.
I said hickory or oak. I couldn't remember.
Well, two totally different tastes.
Sure. Didn't taste great.
But it says that it features a balance of malty sweetness, caramel, and toasted oak flavors.
No. What's the IBUs on that?
What's an IBU?
It's the International Bitters Unit.
It does talk about bitterness at the end.
100 IBUs.
It lingers on the finish, it says. The bitterness.
Yeah, it's rough. So, for example, I don't even know what this will say, the IBU on it. Oh, it's a nitro can.
Hi, Melissa.
Melissa, you're late.
Check this out.
That is not to be forgiven. So the Hawaii 5 Ale was 13 IBUs. Most IPAs are like in the 30s. Arrogant Bastard Ale is 100 IBU. It's rough. It's a rough drink. Melissa, good. You are missed. We're glad you're here. And let's see. Chris Masney on X is here. Showing up late, but that's okay. Maybe not showing up. Maybe he's just hanging out. What a hell of a draft. And says, I see a Husker getting drafted tomorrow. I see a couple Huskers getting drafted tomorrow. And I would encourage all of you, if you haven't already, throw it into your browser. Remember, cornnation.com, because as Huskers are getting drafted, we'll have stories and articles, thoughts about it. So cornnation.com. If you're not getting all your Husker news at cornnation.com, I feel so. I pitied a fool who would go into cornnation.com.
Dusty Rhodes. That's how long I've been working with you. Long enough to know that you were.
I pity the fools, Mr.
Dusty
T.
Rhodes impersonation. What?
I pity the fools, Mr. T.
Well, why is it that Mr. T, Dusty Rhodes, and Mike Tyson all sound the same?
Mr. T doesn't have a list. Mike Tyson and the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, baby, they have a list, but Mr. T doesn't have a list. He just says, "I pity the fool." Okay. But good, I'm proud you know who Dusty Rhodes is.
Me too. I would never know that.
His son Cody lost the WWE Unified Championship this past Sunday night to John Cena at WrestleMania. So I know you're heartbroken, but it puts Cody on the path for the chase to where he can hopefully get back down the road. All right.
Okay.
Well, I think that'll wrap up this episode now. Almost, can you believe it's the off season? It is the off season. We're still 2.5 hours strong, and we couldn't do it without all of you, mostly because your comments throw us off our train of thought, your comments and my shenanigans. So you, the Holger Maniacs, and we are the problems. We are very disruptive to Minnie's show here. If we stuck to the format, we'd be done in 45 minutes to an hour. But where's the fun in that? We have to branch off. We have to go off on tangents. We have to sidetrack and derail the whole damn show for the sake of my sanity. So, Minnie, I appreciate your patience in letting me have the fun that we have on this show. So, for Minnie Hunt, Greg Mahochko, this is the 5 Heart Podcast. We remind you each and every week that 5 Heart is all the heart you need. Minnie?
And go big red.
Look at all that balloons and confetti. Y'all are spoiled. You don't know how good you got it. But you'll get it again next week. We'll see you then.